right. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am here this morning to share with you something I've been thinking about a lot. It is impermanence. It is an essential Buddhist doctrine. Impermanence means everything is constantly changing. Nothing has any permanent identity, and all things come into being and dissolve. So we know this. We have a human life cycle where we can see this very clearly. We are born, and we live for a while, and then we die. Just like the beautiful song we heard. We know that nothing lasts forever, and we know that everything is subject to this law. This building that we're sitting in will eventually crumble. The mountains that surround us will eventually crumble as well. Even the earth itself, in, I think I read 250 million years, will cease to exist. So nothing in this life lasts forever. All things are transitory. And we know this. We have sayings about it. Nothing lasts forever. All good things must come to an end. But we don't really know it, I don't think, in every moment. We don't really like to think about. We don't really like to think about death. We don't like to think about our loved ones leaving us. We don't like to think about leaving our precious possessions, all the things we've gathered in our lifetime. I go to estate sales all the time, and it's always kind of poignant. It's like a whole lifetime of stuff, of things. And it's also similar. We all have the same things. We have our kitchen stuff, and the garage is always full of Christmas stuff, and the tools, and it's all kind of the same. We all share this experience of transitory nature. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the way things are. But we don't really like it all the time. It's kind of a bitter pill for us. We want things to stay the way we like them. We want things to stay in that sweet spot, that good spot where things are going our way. We want our babies to stay little and cute and lovable, where we can just hold them and solve all their problems just by picking them up. That's a beautiful thing. But it doesn't last. They grow up. They get sassy. They talk back. They go and live their lives, and they make decisions that we don't really agree with, and that hurts. It causes pain. It's painful to watch things change. So this is a trick of life. This is something that's hard for us to grasp. And sometimes we just want to go back to the past where things were better, things were easier. We think that there is some kind of magic time that we can get back to where there will be no more problems. But we know that this isn't possible, and this causes us pain. Because no physical or mental object is permanent, desires for or attachments to either causes suffering. So we know this. And we can see this, kind of. But we form these attachments without really thinking about it. We form these attachments all through our life. I've been noticing some of my attachments. I grew up and have had this very healthy body, this very, without a whole lot of effort on my part, to be honest. I've enjoyed a lot of good health, and I sort of expected that would go on forever. I sort of thought, well, maybe I'll just kind of glide through middle age and coast through older age and just kind of die painlessly. Maybe that was hard. Maybe that could happen. Maybe right. I mean, it's been good so far. But then I arrived at my 50s, and aches and pains kind of started showing up. And I thought, what is that? Hot flash? That's not, I didn't think I would have those problems of menopause. I just really kind of thought, I'm pretty sure, I just kind of cruise past that. But it got me. It got me. And I've been dealing with that big life change, and it's been humbling. And I've had to even start taking like some hormone therapy, and it's helped me a lot. But this is the first time in my life I have relied on a prescription medicine. And that, I don't really love that. I really pride myself on not taking any medicine. So that's been a change. And that is something that is humbling and also I'm grateful for. So this is the suffering of impermanence, not accepting things as they are. And I've known I'm going to talk about this, so I've been really paying close attention to my life. And I've had some experiences recently that have brought this principle to my mind clearly. I recently had a very, very wonderful, special mommy-daughter trip with my oldest daughter. And we have not had time like that, just the two of us, to have fun and enjoy. It was almost a full week of just doing whatever we wanted to do, just the girls, just having fun. And we were on the plane coming home, because this good time has an ending. We're on the plane, she's fallen asleep next to me, and I'm looking at her, and I feel so much love for my precious daughter, my oldest child, maybe a moment. My love for her, I felt it in my heart, and my heart was swelling up, it's so much love. And then it started to hurt, and I could feel this aching feeling in my heart. And I was like, wait a second. How did the love, it really was like, oh my gosh, my heart is hurting. The love turned to pain right there in that second. And so I started to examine it. Why did that love turn to pain? And it was because I realized this plane was going to land. She lives in Texas, I live in Arkansas. We were going to separate. This time was coming to an end. And I could feel the pain of that. It was kind of like ruining the love. And so then I thought, okay, I'm going to ground myself in presence. And for me, grounding in presence is feeling like from my crown chakra up and from my feet down. And so I just grounded myself in presence, and then the love was back. I could feel the love. The love was there, and no pain. Because now, grounded in presence, I was feeling that same love. There was no end to it. It was not conditional. It was not attached to my daughter anymore. It was just the feeling of that love. That love is bigger than my daughter and I's relationship. Bigger, and I even kind of laughed to myself. I'm grounding myself on a plane, and hoping I don't crash the plane. What am I? That grounding, I could feel, it was possible even in a plane, even at 30,000, I could ground myself in presence. So that was my experience of, oh yeah, that's impermanence. That is the pain that comes from trying to hold on to a moment. And we want to do that. It's our nature, it's our human nature to want to grab onto things. So how can we get out of this? How can we, I'm a problem solver. How can I solve this problem of impermanence for myself? So I've been experimenting, and I just started doing this in this way, with bringing awareness to the moments when I'm feeling pain. I've done this a lot, but I have this new little thing that I say to myself. I have started to say, I accept the pain in this moment. I accept the pain that is present in this very moment. And that is transformative. And what has been interesting to me is that almost every single moment has a little bit of pain in it. If I really notice when I'm annoyed or short-tempered or critical of others, critical of myself, there are so many moments, almost every moment, I have some sort of thought that is causing me pain. I'm beating myself up, it's too cold in here, stuck in traffic. There's something that is happening is generally causing me some degree of pain. And so I'm getting ready for this talk. It's causing me pain. I'm nervous this morning. Time to leave, time to get dressed. Don't know if I've got it down. And I'm like, no, stop. I accept the pain in this moment. And it made it easier for me to get here today and make myself get up here. This is not my comfort zone. But I can feel the pain and then it disappears. And that's kind of the beautiful thing, that even though this pain is here, it's not as scary as I think it's going to be. And running away from it makes it stronger. So really, that effort of stopping, noticing, and turning towards it, and feeling it, it's quite simple, really. My breath can get me through painful moments. My breath grounds me and connects me to spirit, and then I can feel what is there. And amazing thing is that the pain doesn't really last very long. It's transitory, just like everything else. It's moving along. It is temporary in nature, and it's not a lasting, real thing. So here's another little story. This just happened the other night. And it was my husband and I were cleaning up the kitchen. And he's wiping down the counters. And he said, Sandy was right. These countertops are really a pain to clean. And I was like, what? And he goes, when we were looking at this house before we bought it, she said, yeah, those our countertop is tiles. She said, yeah, those are going to be hard to clean. And I was like, I don't remember her saying that. And I'm getting kind of offended because I like my countertops. And so my husband, dissing on the counter, was making me feel defensive. And I'm now protecting the feelings of a countertop. Because I'm like, no, they're not. They're not hard to clean. I like these counters. And he, was like, oh, blah, blah. He came back with more, and I came back with more, and it was ridiculous. But thankfully it didn't go on too much longer. He leaves the room, and I'm like, what just happened here? I'm defending the honor of my countertop, and I don't get it. And so I really thought about it, and I thought, okay, his comment, his words caused me pain. But I didn't feel like feeling that pain. So what I did was I threw it back at him. Like, no, they're not. How dare you? And so then he threw the pain back at me, and then I lobbed it back over there too. And so it really kind of opened my eyes that I got defensive. Defensiveness is a reaction to pain. Defensiveness is not wanting to feel the pain. So we throw it over there. Get rid of it. It's your fault. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to think about that. And so in that moment, I accepted the pain of my husband not liking my counter. And it was real. I could feel it. That was painful. But it wasn't so big. It wasn't so bad when I just turned to face it. Okay, we all have preferences. It's not that big a deal. So it was as simple as that. the willingness to turn and look at it, and then it disappears. So in Buddhism, there's talk of obscurations. Obscurations are things that are blocking the path. They're clouds that keep us from seeing what is real. They are destructive emotions, they're thoughts, they're just things that keep us out of this moment. So the obscurations, we're already, you know that we're born perfect, right? We're born enlightened. We're already little Buddhists. We already have Christ consciousness. We already have Buddha nature. We're born with that. We're born perfect. But we live in this life of conditions and causes of pain and suffering. We live in this transitory life and we don't understand it, and we load up with all these painful experiences that we can't quite deal with. So these are like clouds keeping us from seeing the light. Another way that people describe it is like specks on a mirror, like it's like a dirty mirror. We can't see our true nature. So I think all those little specks on the mirror are our pain. They're pain that we haven't felt before. They're pain that we shoved down because we didn't have time, and it wasn't convenient, and it just hurts too bad, I'm just going to run away instead. But it doesn't make it go away, it's still there. And so when I like to think of it, when I turn and face the pain, it's like that's spraying the cleaner on the mirror. You know, that kind of loosens it up a little bit. Because I'm just like, okay, I'm here with you, I'm gonna sit with you, I'm gonna see you. So then it's kind of loose. And then the breathe through that is like wiping the mirror. And it can take a while. It might come off easy, it might take a longer time. So breathing through it is like cleaning and cleaning. And you know when you're cleaning a mirror, sometimes it's kind of annoying. I mean, it streaks and it makes it worse, and it looks worse before it looks better. And then you have to get another towel, and you have to spray some more in it. You have to use the elbow grease, and it's like, I was just doing this the other day. I was just cleaning my bathroom mirror. It's disgusting. My daughter her chores have changed in the house, and all of a sudden no one's cleaning my bathroom except me. So then I haven't been doing it. So I'm cleaning, and I'm like, geez, this really takes a lot of effort. And so does life, doesn't it? So does looking at the pain. It takes a little more effort than I'm willing to give sometimes. But the effort does bring results. I don't like to clean. I need to clean though. And that effort will bring me a startlingly clean result. I'm always, every time I scrub my bathroom sink or clean my mirror, I'm like, why did I wait so long to do that? That took literally less than 3 minutes. And it's sparkling clean. What the heck? Why is that so hard for me to do? And life is the same way. Why do we run from something that would take us 30 seconds to breathe through, and then we're clear? So when we're cleaning ourselves, cleaning those thoughts, those obscurations, by looking at them and being present with them, the light can shine through. That is what I'm doing now. I am clearing up the obscurations that are inside of me. And literally, I can feel more light shining through. It is real. The more I clean, the more I am willing to, the more light shines through, and the more I see my true nature. So I thought for just like a minute, if y'all are willing, we could just sit here, and I'm not asking you to bring up anything deep and dark. Just like right this moment, I'm asking you to be present in this moment and notice if there is just the pain in this moment. Maybe you're slightly uncomfortable somewhere in your body. Maybe my words are kind of annoying. You don't want to think about this. Maybe it's just whatever it is. If you're willing again, let's just rest for a moment with what is happening in this moment. So breathe deeply in and let it out. And notice your body resting on the chair. And notice if you feel any tightness anywhere. And turn towards the tightness and say, Dear One, I am listening. I am here for you. See if your breath can offer some movement. And feel whatever is here right now. And keep the breath going. And bring yourself back to this body. So that, Dear One, we're reading a book in our spirit group where Thich Nhat Hanh says that, Dear One, I am here for you. I am listening. We can say that to ourselves. We can say that to each other. We can say that to our life experience. Dear One, I am here with you. I am listening. So pain is a pointer. It points us back to the present moment. If we have an ache and pain in our body, it's telling us something. Pain has a message for us. It has a message for us to listen, to notice. And honest to goodness, accepting the pain and feeling it brings freedom. It brings that opening for the light to go through. And being at peace with the present moment equals joy. The joy, this is like the trick. The joy of life is inside the transitory nature. The joy of life is because of the changing nature of life. If I offered you two flowers, and one was a real living flower, and one was a plastic flower, think about the qualities of both of those and what you would be attracted to and what you would choose. I would choose the fresh flower. Probably most of us would. It has a beauty that cannot be compared to the plastic flower. It has a beauty that is only really in this moment. It's the transitory nature of the flower. We know it's going to die. That's why it's precious, because it's alive. Life is precious because it is fragile. And that our lives are fragile and precious. It's a miracle that we're walking around on the earth right now. Do you know that? It's a miracle that we live on this beautiful planet. It's really, if we don't actually see it, and if we don't actually experience it, then we're not really living our life. The transitory nature of life is the living of life. Being inside of being vulnerable to the pain is being in the moment. We have to, if we're protecting ourselves from the pain, we're not in the living. So this life is very fleeting and very precious. And knowing that death is near reminds us to help each other while we can. It reminds us to be present with our children. Do you know they live in the present moment? And it's such a gift to spend time with a child that reminds us that the fun is here. The fun isn't later. The fun is right now. Children know that. I had a really painful birth of my first daughter, and it was really, really hard for me to be present with her afterwards. It was just, I had a tough transition to motherhood. It was really hard for me. And by the time my next pregnancy came around, I took a totally different approach to the birth. I was able to really, really be present with the birth, and I felt no pain in the birth. And I had this gift of presence when they were born, and I could be with them, and I could be with all three of my children in a new way, because I understood that life, I could just be with them in the moment. It's really hard to find the words to express it, but I could be with them and enjoy the chaos of life. It's very chaotic. Life, the chaos of changing all the time. And I could be with them through that, and I'm so grateful for that. Those years, I was really able to just play with them and experience all of that beauty. So understanding impermanence is the key to living in the flow of life. We think we want things to stay the same, but what would that be? We'd all be the plastic that can't move. But that's what it's like we can't have that. We have to be vulnerable and present with what is actually here. And I'm very grateful for these lessons, this moment right now. I had another thing that happened this weekend. I was driving to War Eagle Mill for the craft fair, and I was so excited for the day, and I knew I was going to have all this fun when I got there. But along the drive, I was just kind of like annoyed because I wasn't really having the fun yet. and then there's this long line when you get close to it. You can like see it down there, you can see the fair, you can see all the cars, but you have to wait in this long line to get there. And so I reminded myself something, the joy is already here. And so I said to myself, the joy is already here. And then I could feel it. I could feel it. I was sitting in the car with my husband. He's off on a weekday. It doesn't happen all the time. I could feel the joy that was there already. When I jumped, when I thought about the weight, the joy left. But the joy is already present. Even in those boring moments, the moments we would push away, turn towards them, and feel that the joy is already there. We're we are each other's keepers in this life. We have this precious moment with each other. Let's all help each other along this path. Let's all show the love that we have for each other. Let's all see the joy that's present when we're waiting in line and feel that there is no separation. Feel when we wish others happiness, then we get happiness. When I'm practicing my spiritual way, I think this is for the benefit of all sentient beings. It's not my own happiness or my own joy that I'm chasing. This is for the benefit of we are all walking each other home. We are all in this precious, fragile beauty together. And so it is.